Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you all about the latest album from Annihilator, Ballistic, Sadistic, out January 24th on Silver Lining Music. This album has 10 tracks, 46 minutes in length, and it's the band's 17th studio album. 17 studio albums. These guys have been around for a very long time. I've been listening to Annihilator pretty much since the beginning of the band. So I'm very confident when I say that this is my favorite release from them in the last 15 years. I really feel that strongly about this record that allows me to put out that sort of a comment. I really feel like this is their best album, at least the best album that they've released in those last 15 years. Now, this is a band that has a very unique style, has a very unique sound, has a very unique approach. They have their DNA, they have their fingerprint as far as their sound is concerned, and this album, in my opinion, is really not different. It falls in line with that. You're really not going to get anything out of the ordinary. You're not going to get anything that you wouldn't be expecting from Annihilator. This is not an album that's going to shock you or surprise you from that perspective. It's their thrash metal, guitar-driven sound that they've been doing for a very long time. That's what you're going to get from this release from Annihilator. Now, Jeff Waters, in my opinion, really went back into the past of the band, and this album is an album that really has a foot in the past and a toe in the present. And what I really mean by that is, to me, this is an album that really resonates more with the past of the band as far as the sound is concerned than it does with the present. But the present is still there, so there's still a little bit of that new Annihilator, but in this record there's a lot of the old school Annihilator present in it. And that perhaps is the reason that I really connected and was driven into this record, is that connection with the past. Being a long-time listener of the band, perhaps that was one of the key components that allowed me to gravitate more towards this album than perhaps previous releases. Now, as far as the structure of the album, I really feel like the album is linear in its approach. It's not a record that takes you on a weird journey with songs that perhaps surprise you in the way they're structured and the way they sound, with different things coming at you. This is a very typical Annihilator album from a structural perspective, not necessarily from a sound, because in the sound you have that mixture of past and present, but it's a very typical Annihilator album, so there's really no curveballs coming at you. Really what you would expect from an Annihilator album is what you're going to get from this record. So the overall structure of the album, it's one that it's very guitar driven, very heavy guitar driven record, and it never really deviates from that. It starts like that and it goes all the way to the last song within those same parameters. That allows the sound to be really to be concise, to be compact. It allows the listening experience to be one that's just fast and straight, this narrow path with no deviations. It really takes you from point A to point B in the shortest path possible. That's the feel that you get listening to this record. For the fans of the old school guitar shredding type albums, this album is it's a clinic. You see a lot of the old style, the way songs were created, starting off with a guitar solo, with a flourish, having more than one solo in a track, really get the songs they're all about the guitars, that the guitars really drive the tempo of the songs, the momentum, the melodies of the songs. The drums play a role, but never a predominant role, at least not as predominant as the guitars. So for fans of that old school style shredding thrash metal records, this one falls in line perfectly with that style. It has a lot of that. It's an absolute clinic. From beginning to end, you're going to get, if you're a fan of guitar playing in general, this album is really going to pique your interest, if you will, because it has a lot of great guitar playing in it. It has a lot of great guitar riffs, incredible solos. It's almost like with every song that passes, you think, wow, this solo was unbelievable. I don't think they can really do a better solo in the next track. And then the next track comes and it's like, wow, this one is even better than the previous one. Amazing guitar work overall, from the melodies to the riffs to the solos. Just everything that surrounds the guitars on this album is absolutely phenomenal, and it's always been one of the key components of Annihilator and their sound, and I'm glad that it's still alive and well on this record. Now, vocally, Jeff Waters sounds as good today as he did on King of the Kill. I absolutely feel that way. It's almost like his voice hasn't lost anything at all. If anything, it's gained a little bit more intensity, but it hasn't really lost at all. It still feels fresh. It still fits the sound of the band to perfection. It's that extra aggression, it's that extra intensity that gives the music around it. So I really feel the combination of that old school sound that this record has with his voice are really the perfect partners to really push this album forward. Overall, this is a very powerful record. that really will appeal to the old fans, but still will appeal to the new fans, because like I said, it has a foot in the past and a toe in the present. So I really feel like this is an album that really merges those two worlds extremely well and will appeal to a lot of different generations of thrash metal and metal fans in general. Now, as far as songs are concerned, I want to start off with The Attitude. It's the second song on the album. I really enjoy this song. It has a very somber opening, a very dark feel opening to it, but it quickly morphs into a more old school style track that starts off with a tiny little solo to begin the hostilities, to increase the intensity, to increase the tempo of the song. And then once that starts, it leads you into the chorus, but it leads you into the song in a way that you know that this is going to be one of those songs that's just going to be absolutely relentless, and it's never really going to give you a chance for you to catch your breath. It's straight to the point, it's aggressive, it's intensive, it has all of those condiments built into the track. Using the backing vocals in the chorus, I really liked it. It gave a sense of a call and answer, so it almost gave the song a little bit of a live vibe to it, and it works really well with this song, and I believe that this is a song in a live setting will work extremely well because of that. This track also added a little bit of a cool bass line as a transition piece that it works extremely well. It really allows the song to migrate from one point to the other and have that little flourish there, that little bass, that little killer bass line. It was just something different, something that you used to see a lot more in old school records that you don't see as much now on modern day metal records, and I really enjoyed that. It gave the song a little spice. It gave it a little bit of a jolt without really changing the dynamic of the song whatsoever. The solo on this song is absolutely magnificent, as it is on every song on this record. I mean, the solos are just really majestic in the way, not only the way they sound and the way they're created, but in the spots that they're inserted into the tracks. It really elevates the song. It really makes the song feel a lot bigger, a lot more bombastic, a lot more energetic. This solo is one of those, and I really like the fact that they keep the main guitar riff as the backdrop to that solo. To me, that really added something, because you still hear that riff as you're hearing the solo, so it creates this absolute wall of sound coming at you. This is a great old school thrash song that has all, from the beginning, the way it starts, the way the solo is, with that riff behind the solo, it has all of the Annihilator trademarks built into one song. This song is really perhaps a synopsis of what the whole album has to offer. This is a song that really has condiments that you're going to see spread out throughout the rest of the record, all combined into one single song. Next is Riot, a song that starts off with a great guitar riff, and then it takes off, and it's just a powerful, a really heavy melodic, with a song that has just a great tempo to it, and you can feel that tempo is never really gonna slow down. The main driver of this song is without a doubt the guitars. It just really pushes the song forward. It just has this dynamic ability to just really push the song. There's a slight dynamic change between the verses and the chorus. Not a huge drop in intensity because of the way the vocals come together. The vocals in the chorus really merge the verses into the chorus, because the music kind of takes a little bit of a drop in intensity, but the vocals remain strong and remain on the forefront. So that allows the song to not have really a dip between the verses and the chorus. Even though there is a dip there, it's just not as noticeable, and I really like that. I like that approach. This is another song that has an incredible solo, just really well placed. It really fills the track well, but it gives melody to the song, and it gives aggression at the same time, and it gives intensity at the same time. And then finishing the song with a chorus is really an old school style thing that I really enjoy. It really caps off the song well, and it really wraps the song around in a perfect way. Last but not least, One Wrong Move. This is a song that's a different dynamic. This is perhaps one of the few songs on the record that it's not necessarily a guitar-driven track, as much as, in my opinion, it is a drum-driven track. The drums are really the driving force behind the song. The guitars are there, they give it power, they give it energy, but to me, I really felt that if there's a driver behind the steering wheel in this song, it's definitely the drums. I really felt that way. It really gave volume to the song and really pushed the song forward. The exception perhaps comes at the midway point, where you get this more stripped down, not acoustic, but stripped down guitar melody that really stops the track. It kills the momentum of the track. It stops it. It becomes very melancholic, very dark, very somber, and it extends itself for a very long period. It's a very long middle bridge that the song has, and then it finds its way back into the intensity, back into the melody, and it finds its clarity again. The song almost goes through this dark mist that blankets the track, and then at the end of that mist, at the end of that tunnel, there's the light again, and then you get the momentum back, you get the aggression back. It actually, by going through that period of darkness, you almost feel like the song at the end of the tunnel feels darker, feels heavier, feels stronger, like it has more aggression. And to me, having that middle bridge there works extremely well. Was a little bit different, was a different approach. I wasn't really sure what they were doing with that, because it really breaks the track. It creates three pieces to the song, but having that piece there in the middle, it feels so somber, it feels so dark, that allows what comes before to feel fast and heavy, and what comes after to feel even faster and heavier. Great track, really interesting dynamic, and really interesting structure. Alright guys, this is it. This is Annihilator, Ballistic, Sadistic, out January 24th on Silver Lining Music. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those as always and getting back to you. Take care, guys.